What's up, and welcome to the Rookie Free Agent Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Delaney. Alongside me is Kevin Pawlak. Alright. And his brother, Andrew Pawlak. What's good? And very special guest today, friend of the program, Peter Neal.
How we doing?
And this is the first ever Rookie Free Agent Podcast, our first episode.
It's an exciting day.
Glad to be here. We are on the way to Pats camp right now.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Everyone's really feeling football right now.
First time I've been up this early in quite a bit.
Yeah, not the same for me, but you know, it's the dog days of summer here, early August, and there's really nothing going on for sports, and that's why we go nuts for training camp here.
Yes, we do.
But first, before we talk other sports, we're going to get down to the Pats rundown. It's going to be our first segment. And the first topic we have today, we're going to have Brady and the suspension.
Golden boy.
Kevin, any thoughts?
Well, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but it is obviously ridiculous. It's just Goodell, trying to exercise all his power over the NFL, and he's just... Everyone else is just butthurt that the Patriots are, the best team in the league, and I think it's ridiculous that, we're a year and a half past, that game, and the fact that this was still going on after he got it, appealed last year. I think a lot of people thought it'd probably be over and done with, but, I think Tom was just very, very sick and tired of pursuing it. I mean, he said it was putting a lot of stress on his marriage. He just kind of wanted to focus on, football again, and he probably just thought he took it as far as he could and just wants to get back to playing football. So, whatever. At least he went out with a little dignity.
I mean, I just don't think... It wasn't even about the football at this point. It was just seeing if Goodell could really suspend him. And, I think he did the right thing to stop it where he did. Because
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I just think that he didn't care anymore. It was above the game, and he just wants to play football again. I don't...
And I think it's going to fuel him coming back. He's good.
Yeah, of course. He rolls with that.
I don't really got anything to add about it.
It's the thing about the length of his suspension, how it's equivalent to Greg Heidi's.
Yes.
To me, that's just... I think that's just ridiculous.
For someone who might be guilty.
And all over just a football,
Some people say that Brady should have a longer suspension than, a domestic violence.
That's
only because that has to do with the actual integrity of the game.
Well, what kind of image does that, make the NFL?
No, I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying that's a point people bring up.
But I don't agree that people should... I don't think people should agree with that either, though.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous because the other aspect of it is people forget that right after this came out, Aaron Rodgers basically admitted to doing the same thing, that he overinflated him. I think he said he likes his around 15.1 PSI or something.
That's high.
But
it's actually higher than
and then you got all this other stuff coming out about
they were lower.
Yeah, and then
they didn't test. He overly said it, and then 13.5. So they never tested his.
I'm pretty sure that there's been other teams that have gotten caught doing some stuff too, but they haven't had as harsh a penalty the Cleveland Browns. I'm pretty sure they got caught warming balls on the sidelines.
Their GM sent text to their coach in the game or something.
And what about the Atlanta Falcons with pumping the noise in the stadium?
They got fined.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, but they got fined, but that's it.
Yeah, but
wasn't Brad Johnson
he openly admitted that
in the
during
Super
Bowl when he was the quarterback?
Did he get paid off for that?
No, I think he said he paid off
someone. Yeah,
paid off one of the attendants or whatever, but. Yeah, that's
People forget that Jerry Rice used to stick him. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Maybe that's why he's the leader in receptions. that's how you beat great kids. You just put stick him on your
Randy Moss was better. All right. What are you guys' thoughts on Jimmy G? I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I mean, obviously I'd rather have Brady back there, but I just want to see what he can do. I don't expect him to go undefeated, but if he does, that's a plus. And I don't know. I think if he plays well, it's really going to up his trade value. So, and I think Brissett is obviously the option they want going forward for the future. We'll get into that later.
I think Garoppolo has a lot of, potential. He's, really hasn't had a whole lot of, playing time, obviously, with Brady. But I think a lot of people on some spectrum have, really high expectations for him. And I think that's a little bit unfair on his end, considering how little experience he has. I think you have a lot of Patriots fans that, might expect him to go out and tear it up just because he had, maybe one good game or whatever when 2014 when he came in for Brady. But
It wasn't a full game.
yeah, exactly. I think he played like half a game or whatever.
He did play a touchdown.
But yeah,
it's good.
no, and he definitely has the talent, and he definitely he's learning from the best in the game. So I'm very excited to see him play as well and see how he can handle it. But I would really think it's unfair if he didn't have as much success. People are saying that the Patriots should at least go like 3-1 in these first 4 games, and if he doesn't live up to that, then I don't think it's fair to necessarily criticize him for it.
For me, like as pissed off as I am that Brady's out, this is honestly like maybe the only opportunity we'd ever get to see him play in a Pats uniform, because if Brady sticks around for a few more years, like there's a chance he'll be gone. So I'm just pretty excited to see what we really have in him, because I think he's got a lot of potential.
You guys happen to see the interview with Belichick when the guy asked,
Oh, but
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that was so funny. It's like he's already in mid-season form. We're in like week 2 of training camp.
Why would you even ask that question though? I mean, like,
It's
what
just,
do you like? Do you think Brady's not going to? Is that like a reasonable option in your mind?
I think he was just trying to piss. Like, the media obviously must really hate Belichick because he just never gives
Straight answers.
They probably just love like messing with him like that. I mean, on the Cincinnati.
But like,
We're at the Cincinnati.
I don't like if you do that, you just come out looking like the idiot. You're the reporter.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, I don't know why.
I mean, you might look like the hero to all your reporter friends and stuff, but you got roasted by Belichick.
Guys, I stood up to Bill. Yeah.
All right. We'll go to Brissett next. I had Chris Long above him, but we'll go to Brissett. I don't know a lot about him. I'm excited to see what he's going to look like today. See if he gets some reps in there. See how he does. And I think he is probably what they want to transition into after Brady, because Garoppolo's value is obviously higher than his right now. And I think they like the style he plays. He's more of like a mobile quarterback than Brady. And I think Garoppolo is probably more mobile than Brady. He's more of a pocket passer still anyway, though. But yeah, I mean, I'll see how he does today. But I've only heard good things about him so far.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think that, he's definitely more of a scrambler. I know I didn't see a lot of him when he was at NC State or whatever, but, a lot of people think that he has, some real potential. And like I said, I don't know a whole lot about him, but I don't necessarily know if they want to, have him be the guy after Brady. I mean, I know that Garoppolo is, some people like to say that it's going to be another Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre situation where you'll have Garoppolo kind of,
It's like, once in a lifetime chances on that.
So sitting on the bench and all that. And
that's true.
I mean, Brady, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Tom Brady is going to play like this for more than another, 5 years or so. I mean, I think eventually he's gonna. I think he can play 5 more years. I just don't know how effective. I'll give him definitely maybe this year and next year, maybe even the year after that.
We were saying 3 years ago. So
that is true. Yeah, that is true. I mean, he definitely takes care of himself. But I would personally like to see them hang on to Garoppolo. I would hate to see them, kind of trade them and just to get maybe another year with Brady down the line, 3 or 4 years. I'd really like to see what sort of potential he has. And Brissett, I heard he's been pretty terrible in camp so far. I know it's pretty early, but I mean he's a new guy. Transition to the NFL. They obviously all rookies go through that phase, but yeah, I just hear he's kind of struggling out of the gate.
I mean, I would want to see them trade Garoppolo if they get something good for it. I mean, I'd say he's probably a second round pick right now. But he plays well, like, say he does go undefeated and he wins week 1 in Arizona, and then wins the rest of the way until Brady comes back, that probably ups his trade value to, like, maybe even, like, a first-round pick. Possibly.
If Garoppolo plays, like, really good in these 4 games, and he knows Brady's going to be around for a few more years, he might honestly want to get traded.
That's what I
like real soon. So, Brissett could end up being, like, our next guy. I think it's a lot more likely than Garoppolo.
Yeah. No, I just, like, I'm not sure. I don't think Garoppolo really expects anything right now because, like, how many guys are just going to come in and start, like, right away? Like, you got to be drafted up high. It's like, he's like the Blake Bortles.
He's probably lucky that
like
he's
guys like
a
that.
backup for Brady. He's learning a lot right now.
That's what I say. Like, he's going to be learning a lot these last 2 years.
I think a lot of quarterbacks get ruined when they come in and they're not ready. And teams force them to start. And a lot of quarterbacks just get, like, thrown out after, like, 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not ready to even start yet. They should be.
We only said about guys that are, like, they were hyped coming out of, like, college. Like Andrew Pawlak, RG3. I mean, it's been fine, but RG3, like, he struggled.
Yep.
And there was a lot of hype about him, second overall pick. And, like, Sam Bradford, guys like that. Blake Bortles been fine.
But, like, he had a rough. He threw a lot of picks.
He's also on the Jaguars.
Yeah,
so.
but last year I thought he was really good. He's got 2 good receivers. So.
Yeah. But I mean, Garoppolo coming out of Eastern Illinois. I mean, we just kind of knew he was good, but he never played big time college ball. I mean, that's just still FCS.
Yeah, but to have Brady as his mentor, I mean, what,
absolutely.
What more could you ask
That's
for?
what I'm saying, but I don't think he expected to just be starting right away.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Right now.
I think he's still a couple of years. That's what you bring up a good point about him not being ready to start. And I think that I still don't think Garoppolo is ready to take the reins. Obviously, he's going to get good experience in these first 4 games, but
he's got a ring.
He does have a ring.
He does have a ring. But I mean, why not? Why not just let him learn another 3 years or so while Brady's still here, 4 years, whatever, and then by that time, I'm sure he's going to have some playing experience and just after watching Tom Brady do his thing for like 5-6 years, like, don't you think that he would just be a lot better?
I agree that he would be, but it's just a matter of like what he wants to do. Because if he waits 3 more years, then he's going to be like his 6th year.
When's his contract?
His contract, I think it's
after next year. So, what if he just doesn't want to resign here?
That's why they probably might be better off trading him.
I mean, you could say 5-6 years, but
unless you can get a deal done like now,
but
or like after the 4 games.
Do you think he would want to stay here?
Depends how good he is.
Depends like what they are telling him, and like, I mean, if they think he's the next guy, basically, then he'll probably want to stay here. But I think they think Brissett's the next guy right now. Like, that's just the sense I'm getting from everyone.
It'd probably be better for everyone if he was, because then we wouldn't have to rush Brady out. Kind of like Favre, like that wasn't a good situation there. Yeah. Even kind of with Peyton, but
really. Favre then he came back and like that was all fucked. That wasn't really. I don't know.
Brady's not gonna stay around and make an ass of himself.
No, Brady wouldn't retire then come back. Brady's gonna finish when he knows he's done. Unlike Favre. Manning did it right
because he's like, I think he's proven everything, but I think Favre was like, he felt like he had something to prove still.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to Chris Long. What do we think about him?
Well, let's see, he was second overall pick.
Second overall pick.
In what year? 2000. Right after his brother.
Yeah.
I think he has had a decent career with he was on the Rams before this, and good pass rusher, good guy in the end. I mean, it's good that you're gonna need someone to step in for Chandler Jones. That definitely was a big gap. The one thing I liked about Chandler Jones was he was so. I felt like he was a lot more athletic at that position, the defensive end, than most guys. I mean, he was just like a very lean guy. Most of those guys are kind of like bigger, and you're almost kind of seeing that transition in the NFL now. The ends are a little more like lean, and they're not just like these big, bad guys or whatever. But I'm excited. I mean, I think that he could be very great. He's proven that he can play. You know, he played on a couple of decent Rams defenses, and I mean, I think he'd be, you know, just look at that line with him, Sheard. You know, who else could be on that line? Nikovic.
Yeah,
Is he gonna play linebacker? Because I know he can play both. Right?
Yeah, no, they'll probably switch him. Well, he is an end, but
Because we lost.
seen him at both.
And then they have what?
Well, they got
Dominic Easley. And,
he's gone. He's
that's
right
right
there.
there.
They have Hot Roast.
Yeah, that's what I was
Interior
thinking.
line.
They got Malcolm Brown.
Malcolm Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of deep. Like I think Long is solid, but I think Sheard's gonna step up and have like a really good season. I thought he was good last year too, but I think he's gonna be. He could almost honestly replace Chandler Jones. Maybe not quite, but
I mean, I think he's a good replacement for him.
I think overall Jones had a better season, but
I'm just happy that
Sheard
they got
really
something.
good second half.
I think Sheard's very.
I'm happy that they got something to fill that void with Chandler. But
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they got him and Hot Roast, so we'll get to him.
yeah.
All right, the O line.
The line.
I think it's definitely looking better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have some
I don't
improvements.
know about Joe Tooney. I mean, he basically said I don't play O line after we drafted him.
That's kind of a red flag.
D lineman. So I don't know what to think. I mean, I'm sure he'll be able to transition to it, but I don't know how quickly. Let's just hope it's better than last year with the revolving doors we had out there.
Yeah, I just want to say something. Don't you think they would maybe ask him, like, would you feel comfortable playing the offensive line, like, before you draft him? Now he said, I can't play offensive line. Like, that's kind of something you would want to ask the player. You can play the position you're going to play him in.
I mean, he's played it before. I just don't think he's I don't think he played it. And he's an NC State guy, right? I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll be all right. They'll probably work on him in camp. But I don't know. We'll see. I know.
What's the deal with Cooper? Didn't he
Yeah,
get hurt?
he just got hurt.
I'm reading that now. He got hurt on Saturday.
I don't know how bad it was. I haven't really looked into it yet, but I think it might keep him out a little bit from what I've heard, but I am not 100% sure yet.
The whole situation with Cooper is confusing.
I don't even know if he's gonna make the team.
Because, like, I heard, like, we were going to cut him, and then, like, he was still on the team.
Yeah,
If we do keep him, I think we have to pay him a ton.
yeah. I don't know.
He's still on his rookie deal, and he was, like, a 7th overall pick, so.
So basically, we gave up Chandler
For him in a second round.
for basically nothing.
The second round pick was that this year?
I don't even know, actually.
No, I think it's
Well, you guys were talking about Thuney, right? The guy
Yeah,
from NC State.
Yeah.
Are you sure that he never played offensive line?
I don't think he did.
Because I'm pretty sure. I remember the night I was watching the draft. I thought it said that one of the guys said that he could play, like, he played every single offensive line position in college.
Well, yeah, I think he played, but I think he switched to defensive line, and he likes that better now.
Because I was actually pretty pumped when I saw that.
No, I know he's good. I know he's a pretty good player.
Josh Klein hurt, too. I think he's, like, not bad.
I mean, our whole line was hurt last year, so probably all still.
We'll get Nate's shoulder back.
Yeah, Nate Solder come back.
So what's it going to look like all together? Like, we'll have Stork in there, probably Klein.
Probably
Yeah,
maybe
Cooper,
Cooper.
Solder, Klein.
Solder, Vollmer will be back.
Oh God,
We'll see about that. He was a
So
revolving
soft.
door in the AFC.
6'8", he's so soft. I don't know, but people shit on Solder like
Trey Jack.
Yeah, Solder's
Trey
pretty
Jack.
he gets so much shit. Like guys off.
I don't like Trey Jack.
Dude,
I really liked him before he got hurt.
Did anyone realize like how much we missed Solder last year?
I think towards the end,
Like,
we really could have used him.
People were like, it's not even a big deal that he went down. Like,
I
yes,
know
I was worried
it was
right away.
because even in 2014, that was like our main problem the first 4 weeks until we like really got it together.
Yeah.
I think I knew that was the weakest spot of our team. And we like, even though he's only one lineman, he's probably our only like really good lineman.
Yeah.
So
You know what? We'll be okay as long as we have Marcus Cannon there to fill in.
Well, I guess this Shaq Mason's going to be on the
yeah,
the first line.
Yeah. I think he's hurt right now. Though. I think him and Trey
These
Jackson
guys,
are still
anyone but Marcus Cannon, fucking.
Well, they're saying Marcus Cannon's going to be second after Solder.
I don't even have words. That guy
The
just
fact that
sucks
he
so
could be our
bad.
starting left tackle just really
So wait,
scares
What
me.
about Ishmael Kitchen or Adrian Waddle? What are those guys?
Adrian Waddle, yeah, I think at one point
So it's going to be
Adrian
center.
Waddle was our right tackle and Marcus
Matt
Cannon was
Later
our right
retired
tackle.
Klein behind us.
If I was Tom Brady's knees, I'd be pretty worried if he had Marcus Cannon and Adrian Waddle on the same line.
Waddle actually wasn't that bad, but
He's probably better than Marcus Cannon. Fucking Christ. Marcus Cannon was Swiss cheese in the offensive line. You know what he? You know, it's like when you get like the beads hanging down for your door and you just walk through them. Like that was Marcus Cannon. Brady got him championship. Von Miller was like when you saw his matchup with him, he was like his eyes lit up, and then like Marcus Cannon was like, well, fuck, I'm just gonna let him fight.
there was a play
I want to get tanked.
that made me so angry. It was
Vollmer just stood there.
Vollmer he was playing left tackle, I think.
Stood like a fucking
And
road
I
dog.
swear to God, he didn't move. It was like he was stuck in cement. And Von Miller went right by him and sacked Brady.
I was like, why don't you just put 5 road cones out there? That
would honestly
good.
anything would have slowed him down more.
That's the same thing like Solder.
Solder
Solder wasn't
a step over.
a good left tackle. How many times
He was inconsistent, like at times, but I still think he's our best.
he's decent.
Out there last night. Oh God.
But the amount of times that Solder got sacked, though, Brady got
Turning
sacked.
into just a
because of
roast
Solder.
last season.
That was ridiculous.
All right, at times. What do we think of Bennett? Martellus Bennett.
I think that was a great. I thought it was a good pickup.
I do too. I don't think he's gonna have the production numbers he's had in Chicago, but because he's playing alongside Gronk.
But I mean, it's a good duo for Brady to have. You got two big men that know how to handle the ball, who can catch the ball. I mean, I see nothing but good things coming out of that.
Better than soft Chandler we had up there.
It might take some of the pressure off Gronk too. Like,
Like, who was our second to Scott? Yeah, Chandler.
He's got shown hands Chandler. I could not stand that guy.
I mean, yes, for a second tight end, he was fit there. He was all right. But now you got
Such a
two.
big guy too.
Like Bennett's a starting tight end. He should be.
The thing that I like about it is, like, I just think that, when we had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk at the same time, there wasn't really an offense like that in the NFL that just had like two tight ends. They were just unstoppable.
That's what I see with
so much more when you have like a capable second tight end.
Yeah.
I think Bennett, he's getting older, but he's still really solid. I just don't know how much Belichick's going to want to use him or not. Like, you never know with him.
He was a decoy too.
Yeah, but I think it just kind of like you can do a lot more.
But I feel like he makes up for some of the lack of wide receiver core that we have.
No, yeah,
like, we got
it could. Like,
we
if they go
got
two tight ends, they don't need as much depth.
Like, I still don't know why LaFell is on the team.
He's gone.
Oh, thank God.
Got rid of him, man.
Thank God.
Well, thank God.
Untapped potential.
The only
He was so good that he won the Super Bowl.
He
was
Michael
very
Bennett's
good.
brother.
He was so good.
I don't like Michael Bennett.
You know what Michael Bennett said this past season? Michael Bennett said when they were playing the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford's originally from Houston.
Yeah.
And he said he doesn't like Matthew Stafford because he's from the same city where JFK was assassinated. And he was essentially blaming Matthew Stafford, current NFL quarterback of the Detroit Lions, for the assassination of John F. Kennedy,
That
which
probably
took
happened
place
25 years before he was born.
1963. And then actually Martellus, because Michael Bennett has had a history of just doing dumbass shit like
He's
that.
so ugly.
I remember seeing him on the bike after he won the NFC
Michael
Championship that year. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, fuck this guy.
And Martellus Bennett, he actually said after that, he was just like, yeah, my brother's kind of a fucking moron. I'm sorry about that.
I don't know, man.
But I'm excited for him. I'd love to see what he can do on the field. He had a pretty good career with Chicago so far. So
He was a top 5 fantasy tight end 2 years ago.
see what he can do with a real quarterback now than Jay Cutler.
I see that tight end is being
Brandon
a lot
Marshall said that Jay Cutler
I saw that today.
Yeah, if like
I thought
all
he
the other
beat you.
like
me and you
elite
gotta get
quarterbacks
into
go down with
Brandon
injuries.
Marshall a little bit.
Oh, we will.
Dude, we're good.
Okay.
The tight end's a lot
like I thought Marshall didn't like him. Didn't he take a shot at him last year or something? Like when he went to New York?
dude. Brandon Marshall is whacked.
Okay, let's just talk about that really quick.
Yeah,
So,
Brandon Marshall's a thug.
We got really angry the other
we
night.
were watching Sports Center, and the anchor, this
Stupid lady.
she was talking about Brandon Marshall, and she's like, on the Jets, he's gonna revive his career.
He had 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns last year.
Like,
What are you exactly reviving?
Yeah, when was his career? What you talking like from Chicago?
This was
when he had
she
Jay
said
Cutler throwing to him?
she said this yesterday. She said this yesterday. That
said
this season
this
coming up is going to be a
yesterday.
rival season.
Yeah.
He was.
How could he have the best season of his career? What are you
It
revising?
just shows you the purpose of why ESPN have female employees. So
We really did.
they can look good.
All right, Chris Hogan.
Well,
I don't know much about him, but I've heard good things.
Yeah.
I think he's a great
think
fit.
he's gonna be good.
I think it's a good fit for him.
I
think,
Another one of the short white receivers.
But I think
exactly.
he
It
can
fits
run
the
down the
Patriots
field.
system.
I think he's a deep threat.
Yeah, I mean,
Could be.
you know,
I mean,
it's
Not
just,
big.
it just seems like he's
Tony
like
Brown's not
another,
big. He's deep threat.
he's another Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type player.
Yeah.
He's very gritty. He takes the hits. He gets back up. Yeah, you were saying something about a deep threat. I, don't really think. Yeah, that was definitely a void we needed to fill on this team. I think, that's what they brought Brandon LaFell for, and he clearly, didn't really pan out fully to what he was supposed to be. I know
Have fun with him, Cincinnati.
I know he had a decent 2014.
We wouldn't have won. I don't know if we would have won the Super Bowl without him.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
he sucks.
but you know what? It's just something that will make the offense a lot better. Will make Brady. Brady can obviously throw the ball pretty far downfield. So if you can have a guy that can, just be able to blow past defenders like that, it's such an asset to an offense.
Yeah.
The nice thing about him, he was Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had Sammy Watkins, the first wide receiver. Then you got him. So it's like he's going with Edelman. Edelman's obviously going to be our number one receiver.
Yeah.
And then you got he's going to fill that good
They were
role.
both deep threats at Buffalo too.
Yeah.
He might be like the number one.
He's going to be our number one deep threat, but it's not like he's going to be our
Yeah,
number
but
one
he's
receiver.
like,
There's not too much pressure on him.
he's probably like, for receivers, he's probably at least like the third option. I think.
The only other thing,
And then,
got
but
David
like
Dolan
for targets, he might be the fourth or fifth with Gronk and Bennett.
the only other thing
Washington
is
he's still with us, yeah.
fighting for a spot.
He's still trying to
I
fight for
don't
his
know.
spot.
I don't know.
That's really what they needed. When Randy Moss first came to New England, I thought, finally, Tom Brady has a big guy that can run down the field and go up and get it. I feel like he never had that to that point, and then he doesn't really have it now. And that's really what I just want to see the Patriots do. Is obviously try and bring someone in. I know the whole Calvin Johnson rumors heated up, but he ended up retiring because his hands are so messed up he probably can't pick up a glass off the table. But
I would have loved to see
Nice
that.
to throw it to him.
I really would have loved to see him and Brady. Boy, that would have been just.
I would have loved to see Brandon Marshall come.
All over again. It was literally it would have been close. No, actually, maybe not quite.
Calvin
It would've been
Johnson,
similar.
I don't know. Him or Randy Moss, I don't know.
I go Moss.
Moss is probably a little better.
Moss in his prime
Calvin
was
Johnson did put the best
the greatest athlete
season
ever
for a
played.
receiver together.
If you watch some of Randy Moss's highlights, he's just a man on points.
Yeah.
He's an incredible athlete in his prime.
I would have liked to see the Pats get
Calvin.
Marshall.
So fast too. He would split gaps and it was all good.
All right, we'll put Hot Roast and Cyrus Jones together to put it into the defense. Hot Roast, I mean, I think he's gonna make the team,
Yeah, I don't make it.
but I mean, I just like to see him have a little impact. I know he's been pretty good before in the past,
I
so
don't think I can take anyone seriously with the nickname Pot Roast.
So they plan. I would assume they plan on starting him.
say that to his
Over
face,
Malcolm
Kev.
Brown.
See what he-
I think he's gonna be
Thanks.
solid.
Maybe after he eats lunch. I don't know. I don't really want to be his lunch or anything, but yeah, he definitely has talent. He put together a couple good years with Denver. He's obviously pretty big. I mean, we were talking about how the transition in the defensive line game. The league's almost kind of shifted to more Chandler Jones type players, Rob Ninkovich type players, just lean guys that can really get off the edge. And my only question about him would really just be, his weight, his health, as long as he's in shape, and obviously big guys like that they can play. They've proven it with Vince Wilfork, guys like that. But I really think that could be potentially the only thing that could hold him back. But yeah.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be
all right.
I think it's probably happening.
When he sacked Brady in the AFC Championship game though that year. on the fourth down.
Yeah, that sucked.
That was.
I remember. I don't talk about that. That was the most defeated I've ever felt. That.
I remember 2 years ago, it was my freshman year at Bryant. I was driving home from school one weekend, and I was listening to the radio. And you remember that game?
It's a guaranteed thing.
The what?
This is when I guarantee a victory.
Yeah. The game when we destroyed them, I think, and Gronk made that one-handed catch in the end zone.
Yeah, Edelman returned the punt.
Yeah. I remember some guy, I think it was Jim Rome or something, was saying, this is a quote from Terrence Knighting, he guarantees victory, and then that's actually
Didn't he guarantee if we played in the playoffs?
Yep. Yeah, but he said for the same game, he said something about how he would beat up Brady or something, and I just remember him saying, Jim Rome saying, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I could take a guy named Pot Roast seriously about anything. That's kind of what I got that live from. That was funny.
We can't trust a guy named Lonnie either. Yep. All right. Cyrus Jones. He's gonna be good. I like him. Alabama guy. Nick Saban system.
He can do a lot of
things. Yeah.
He's versatile. He's not.
Yeah. He's gonna be a good back to have back there.
We need a guy like that because we had Logan Ryan
was really good. Really good last year.
But we had no one after them.
And they need some help.
It's just not good.
But I'm gonna trust kind of the Saban system because Saban and Belichick, they're very similar when they run their.
There was a punt return call too.
Yeah, I trust Edelman the most having punts.
I love Edelman.
Yeah, as long as Chris Harper back there, I feel fine.
Danny Amendola was perfectly healthy, I'm pretty sure, when we put Chris Hogan back there. That didn't make any sense.
Chris Harper.
What did I say?
Chris Hogan.
I mean, Chris Harper. And I don't understand why you wouldn't put Amendola. I think Amendola fumbled one punt the whole year, and it was after that. I think it was in Houston, or maybe that was.
Houston game was fucked up.
No, the Houston game was after Denver.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. We lost the Eagles. That game. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand why they wouldn't put Amendola. Anyway,
Cyrus Jones.
Yeah.
I have opening.
I really think it gives us a little more loaded depth at the corner position. I mean, Butler and Logan Ryan's contracts are going to be up this season. So, along with a lot of other defensive players, Jamie Collins, Hightower, I'm pretty sure they're coming to the end of their rookie deals. Which is part of the reason why we had to ship off Chandler. No, I think they could. It's just it's going to be
Butler's
tough.
Gonna stay.
I would lock down Butler and
Hightower's unbelievable. Yeah.
Logan Ryan is really solid, especially in our system.
I would say that you kind of got to keep Collins, Hightower, and Butler as your core. And it's nice having Cy Jones if he can potentially pan out, have a pretty good year, and they have that option where if they can't bring everybody back, I just say peace to Logan Ryan.
Yeah, I was gonna say Logan Ryan is very solid in our system, but he's replaceable, and I think Cyrus Jones can replace him.
I was gonna say Jones can probably just
slot into
his role.
Yep. He can just depth this year. So.
What do you think about week 1? Going
It's
into
gonna be
face
tough.
Chandler Jones and the Arizona Cardinals.
That's definitely gonna be a tough game.
Garoppolo. With Brady, I'd say I feel confident about that game, but Garoppolo, I don't know. His first ever start. This is big stage like that, Sunday football.
You can.
It's gonna be a lot of pressure.
We'll have a good game plan because we got the best coach of all time.
We do have the best coach.
I think it'll be. We'll be in the game. We'll have a shot. Definitely underdogs. See what happens.
I definitely think it's gonna be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Got two good defenses, two good offenses going at each other. It's just. I think
tell you, they're gonna keep it close though.
Yep.
If they don't win, it's gonna be really close. And I'm sure Belichick already kind of has his
He's
game
been thinking
plan.
about this. Right?
Yeah, I'm sure he already has.
Don't count him out.
Game plan.
It is an unfortunate way to kind of start out the season. With Brady obviously being suspended, having to go on the road to Arizona. But Arizona, they're good, but they're a very beatable team. I mean,
I think
absolutely.
They got
marked
in by Carolina, and they're very beatable. I mean,
absolutely.
And we'll see. I wouldn't say that it's gonna it's an automatic win for Arizona by any means, but
No, not at
it's
all.
it'll be a tough game, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree.
What else going on week 1? You got the opening game, the Panthers and the Broncos.
Oh, I don't care about that.
That's a nice that's a nice FU to Carolina, I guess.
Yeah.
I think
all right.
Carolina.
All right. I'll move on to the rest of the NFL. What do you think about Josh Gordon?
I don't think he's ever going to be the same.
I don't think he's going to be the
You
same.
can't just miss that much time and come back.
He hasn't played since when? 2000.
Think about this. He can tell his kids one day that his NFL career didn't pan out because
It was 13.
Was it 13?
he couldn't stop smoking the
Yeah,
gun.
13. He missed 2 straight seasons.
He's missed 2 straight seasons.
How stupid is that? The NFL's policy on marijuana is
That's so dumb.
pretty
Yeah.
Like Josh Gordon's
Why is he
banned.
getting reinstated?
Okay, well, how do you
And then
think
you
he's
got
going to...
like people that are like just all these domestic violence and you know 4-game suspension. Doesn't make sense.
How do you think he's going to rack up in fantasy value?
I want him.
I wouldn't.
Is
pick
he
him
like
that
a
high.
chance on.
Do you think he's like a mid...
He's like. I mean, I'd pick him as like my 4th receiver.
Yeah, he's gonna go later now. But I mean, he's gonna have 4 games.
If he wasn't gonna miss any time, maybe 3rd.
And he's not like a guarantee like Le'Veon Bell was last year. Like that guy was gonna be. I mean, I know he got hurt, but like
Yeah.
he was unreal the first 2 games.
Yeah, even though
he was
he's
back.
suspended, you knew he was gonna be like.
Do you know who was good? Yeah.
I don't know about Josh.
Yeah.
I don't,
On the upside, but
I think this season, I don't think he's going to have the greatest year. Coming back from not playing for almost 3 years. I mean,
I don't know how you can bounce back from that being the same.
probably good. Manziel's not there anymore. I don't think
Yeah.
he would have been the best influence on him.
I don't think he's...
They're
All right.
friends. They're pretty good boys.
Well, 2 teams have made some moves in the AFC
How
East this
loaded
year.
Mexico.
We got the Jets and the Dolphins. So,
I think...
Please.
Jets made some big moves. They got Forte. They re-signed Fitzpatrick. That could be big for them. Brickenshaw Ferguson to retire though, so that could be detrimental.
The Jets will find a way
Yep.
to be in it most of the year,
And then they'll
blow
fuck it
and
up
just
at the end.
screw it up in the last 2 weeks of the season.
Dolphins, I think, are a pack of frauds,
As usual.
as we've seen in the past.
The Jets' high
And-
note of the season will be if they can beat the Patriots.
Yeah, like once, but that's
Remember that time they went
in
8-8?
overtime.
They won 8-8. They won the last game of the year. They like dumped. They showered Gatorade on Rex
Yeah,
Ryan.
they went.
Yeah, that's such a Jets thing to do right there. That's my prediction this year. They're gonna win a game to go 7-9, and they're gonna shower
Fuck
Gatorade on whoever their coach is. I forget his name, but that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's
I'm definitely... I mean,
Yeah,
it brings more competition to the AFC East, obviously. But,
Well,
you know, definitely give the Pats a run for their money. But I think the Pats will just come up on top anyway.
as usual.
yeah. I think that Jets fans can exhale now that Ryan Fitzpatrick re-signed, or else they really would have been screwed. At least now that they can have fun.
At least they have it for
But-
one more year.
Geno Smith back there.
But it's like Jets fans are just unbelievable. A lot of people like to say that us Patriots fans are the worst in the NFL, but
No.
the Jets fans are like, yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick, like he's back, and it's like it's like his 8th year in the NFL, and he's never even been to a playoff game. So
He last year was his best season.
I don't understand it, and I really
They stole the Jets. Like they pretty much. I thought they had the playoff.
they need to get Fireman Ed back in the stadium. That was the extra motivation.
All right, so the Broncos. We'll be real quick on them.
They're not going to be the same.
Who's gonna be their quarterback? Is it gonna be Mark Sanchez?
And I don't really know why.
Probably.
It's like their quarterback play isn't even going to get that much worse.
Makes you wanna
Even though it's
throw
Mark Sanchez,
Yeah.
what did they really have last year?
I know, but they did lose some guys on defense.
Yeah, they're
so
going to go like
Dan
10-6 and maybe make like the
Yeah,
division.
I think the Chiefs will win that division. But I don't know. Maybe
I
they'll
can
still win
think
it.
of very few instances
Von Miller,
where a defense actually won
Yeah, the
a
Ravens,
championship.
and then this.
Yeah,
last
pretty
year.
much it.
Like the 2000 Ravens. Is that the one you were
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
That's the first one that came to mind. But like literally, it was just so sad. Like it that game was just. You get Super Bowl 50 in California. There's all this hype. Every time you watch a
The
friggin'
halftime
game,
show sucked.
every time you
like-
watched a game on
Yeah,
CBS in
that
the
was
regular
bad.
season, they had to just drop in and it's the home of Super Bowl 50, and it's like this glorious thing. And the way that it happened, where it just sucked. Like Peyton Manning was just so bad.
It was terrible.
I don't know. The past two Super Bowls,
so
Peyton Manning
irrelevant.
have been the two worst Super Bowls I ever watched.
Yeah, it's so irrelevant.
Von Miller won the MVP with Super Bowl.
You should have, and I give credit to the defense. By the way, I'm not saying it's like a lesser of a thing. I mean, it shows like how it is. They're really one of the best defenses in the history of the NFL because not many defenses have really just taken the league by storm like that. And Peyton, he just physically couldn't do it anymore. And if he didn't have nearly as good as a defense as that, then I think even with our horrid offensive line last season, we would have romped them.
As much as it pains me to say, I don't think they would have won the Super Bowl if Brock Osweiler was their starter. I really don't. No, they probably wouldn't have.
What a shitty situation.
It's literally like this is when you know your quarterback situation is bad. Peyton Manning was better because they could run the ball better when Peyton Manning was in the game because he could read the line of scrimmage. So you're better off with that quarterback because you can run the ball better. That's when you know you got issues.
C.J. Anderson's gonna have a big year. I think that they're
gonna run the ball.
They gotta open up the hole and let him do his thing.
And they've been using like a lot of fullbacks lately, I guess, in practice. So I think that
if I was a Broncos fan, I would be throwing up. I would be dreading Week 1. The Panthers are going to go in there, and they're just going to punch them in the mouth.
They're going to be pissed.
And they're going to be pissed off.
I don't know.
See Cam Newton
soft.
See Cam Newton running around,
soft.
dabbing, doing his Superman thing.
He's not soft.
Corrupting the rest of the youth of this country. You don't like Luke Kuechly?
No, I love Luke. I like him, but I just bring him back to that game we got screwed on Thursday Night Football.
Could be one of the best players to ever come out of BC. Probably. I mean, he's BJ Raji. I think he's better than him.
Matt Ryan's solid.
Nah, he's better than Matt Ryan. Different positions. Matt Ryan,
BJ Raji.
Talk about a guy that fell off a cliff.
No, I don't think he just ever got to the cliff. Like,
there was like a lot of promise.
The Falcons had a couple of years.
They had a couple good years.
I'm pretty
sure. They went 14-2.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
They lost the first fucking game to the Packers, but they were hot. By that time, I think the Giants beat them 24-2 or something.
Yeah, all they got was a safety. I remember that. That was like
they were like a 5 seed though.
Yeah, but that just like shows.
Man, that guy had just.
They're not really. They need to build a defense first of all.
All right, they signed Dwight Freeney yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
they did.
All right, we'll call this part 1. We'll check back in after you come back. We got here a little earlier than expected, so we're in training camp, and we'll
Tom Brady.
Yeah, go Pats. Raise
come back in.
Brady.
One for the thumb.
Oh yeah.
That was solid.
That was good.